Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming. I am Nicholas Ganji. I'm the United States Attorney for the Southern District of Texas. With me here at the podium are Ryan Whalen, Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Houston FBI, Chief Noe Diaz of the Houston Police Department, Assistant Chief Rick Bass of the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, and Major Ben Cuttrib of the Criminal Investigations Bureau of the Harris County Sheriff's Office. Over the past year, during my time as U.S. Attorney, my philosophy has been a clear one. Identify threats in our community, marshal federal resources, and eliminate those threats with precision and force. Rideshare sexual assaults are one such threat, and that's what brings us here today. The Southern District of Texas has conceived and launched Operation Lighthouse to combat a persistent and disturbing problem, that of sexual assaults committed by rideshare drivers against their passengers. Although today is the commencement of Lighthouse, this will be an ongoing priority initiative for the Southern District of Texas. One of the fundamental features of rideshare service is safety. Rideshare provides a way home for those that are exhausted, impaired, or otherwise unable to safely drive themselves. Rideshares essentially bring together two strangers, where the only shared information between the two is their name and their rating. It is a service that can only function if there is a mutual trust between driver and passenger. When a member of the public calls for a ride, they are placing a great deal of trust in their driver. In fact, they are putting nothing short of their safety, their well-being, and in some situations, even their life, in their driver's hands. And thus, a driver has a tremendous responsibility to deliver that passenger safely to their destination. And when a driver abuses his trust by using his position of power to sexually assault a passenger, particularly when incapacitated or otherwise unable of defending herself, they cease being service providers and become predators. They forever scar their victim and in the process undermine community confidence in public safety. So today we announcce federal charges against 4 rideshare drivers across 4 separate but similar indictments. 3 of those defendants are now in custody, 2 of whom, Cesar Martel and Shanaka Manatunga, are set to make their initial appearances today at 2 p.m. A third, Barney Flores, was apprehended last month and remains in custody today. The fourth, Abdu Mabaki, is currently a fugitive and a warrant remains outstanding for his arrest. All 4 drivers allegedly kidnapped their passengers either by diverting from their intended route or prevented the victims from leaving the rideshare vehicle. This was done for the purposes of sexually assaulting their passengers. One defendant, Cesar Martel, was indicted for 2 separate sexual assaults, one in 2021 and another 2 years later in 2023. As alleged in the indictment, forensic analysis from DNA taken after the 2023 incident identified Martel as the previously unknown suspect in the 2021 assault. If convicted, all 4 drivers face up to life in federal prison. Our goal in launching Operation Lighthouse was threefold. First, we want to deliver justice for those victims of sexual assault that were preyed upon while using rideshare services. They deserve to have their voices heard. Second, we want would-be abusers to know that the Department of Justice is watching. They should know that any such assault brings with it the prospect of federal time. Hopefully the threat of a potential life sentence in federal prison will provide a much-needed deterrence. Third, is our sincere hope that this initiative will create awareness regarding this issue and perhaps encourage those victims that are suffering in silence to come forward. Again, Operation Lighthouse does not begin and end today. This will be an ongoing priority initiative of this office, nor is Lighthouse limited to the greater Houston area. We will investigate and prosecute rideshare attacks throughout our district, from College Station to Corpus Christi to the Rio Grande Valley to Laredo. Unfortunately, we do not believe that these are isolated incidences. If you believe you've been victimized by either these defendants that we're discussing today or any other rideshare driver, we need to hear from you. Please contact the FBI or your local law enforcement. Your courage in coming forward may take a predator off the streets and prevent another woman from being victimized. And one very important note, although these 4 cases involve drivers allegedly assaulting their passengers, There are cases where the reverse is true, where a passenger hails a rideshare ride in order to sexually assault a driver. We are just as interested in those cases and want to hear from those victims as well. As I conclude, let me say, never confuse convenience with safety. Rideshare apps can never guarantee full and complete safety. Always stay alert. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Vigilance is your first and best line of defense. And with that, I will turn it over to Ryan Whalen, Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Houston FBI.
Thank you, U.S. Attorney Ganji. Good afternoon. My name is Ryan Whalen, and I am the Assistant Special Agent in Charge of Houston's Violent Crime Branch. Thank you for the media who came today, and again, thank you, U.S. Attorney, for your partnership on these important cases. These cases hit home for many of us. I think we've all used rideshare service at one point or another. We've trusted rideshare drivers with our safety and that of our families and friends. Unfortunately, for about a half dozen Houston area women, their rideshare experiences resulted in some of the most traumatic, violent crimes being committed against them: kidnapping and sexual assault. And all allegedly occurred at the hands of their rideshare drivers. Suspects Cesar Martel, Barney Steve Flores, and Janaka Manatunga have been arrested by the FBI and our local partners. Abdu Mbake remains at large and is now a wanted fugitive. Take a good look at each of their photos on the monitors. These four men are accused of disguising themselves as trusted rideshare drivers to kidnap, sexually violate, and assault female passengers. These arrests and the progress of these cases are due in large part to the bravery of the victims who reported these crimes to law enforcement. I commend them for their courage in coming forward, but we believe there may be more victims who have yet to do so. Let me now speak directly to them. Now is the time for your voice to be heard. I know this won't be easy, and you might be scared to speak up, but know you are safe when you confide in us. Help us hold your attackers accountable. If you believe you have been sexually assaulted or held against your will by any of these men or any other rideshare driver, please contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI or go online to tips.fbi.gov and make a report. We do not make these cases alone. I am grateful for the invaluable assistance we receive from our partners that you see with me today: the Houston Police Department, the Harris County Sheriff's Office, and the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. Thank you to the U.S. Attorney's Office for working to file federal charges in these cases in hopes of longer and stronger sentences. Rideshare companies have long offered their safe and reliable services that we've all come to trust. To the drivers that seek to exploit that public trust, let me be clear: we will find you, we will arrest you, and we will prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law, and in these cases, federal law. Thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thank you, Ryan. We'll now open it up to questions. Well, there's certain federal structural advantages that we wanted to bring to bear in these cases, given the gravity of the offense, kidnapping and sexual assault. We in the state, we have different judge pools, we have different resources, we have different sentencing laws, and so we thought we could bring a structural advantage to these types of cases. We're on today. Yes. Yes, please, in the back. No? Well, I don't want to speak about anybody's criminal history that's not already set forth in the indictment. You'll see that one of the two defendants has two charges related to two different sexual assaults separated by 2 years. So beyond that, I'm not at liberty to discuss their criminal history.
It looks like Mbaki has been wanted on a state charge since October. Like, do you guys have any idea where he might be or assist, like where we should be looking or calling?
So that's an open investigation, and I can't discuss where we're looking for him or what our leads are. But we encourage the public to reach out to us or FBI if they have information that could lead to his arrest. Okay. Well, I thank you all for coming today. I hope we can get the word out about this new initiative, which I think when someone suffers perhaps the most traumatic event in their life, they should know that there are resources available and there is the ability to bring real justice against these offenders. I thank you. God bless.